That's the Marriott Hotel sticking out from between the trees. That's Guyana. That's Kingston. High Street, Kingston. And that is Young Street. That runs beside the American Embassy. Let's take a quick walk up Battery Road and just see what new developments have been taking place at the Marriott now. Those of you who've been following the news is that the government of Guyana has been trying to sell the Marriott Hotel to a private foreign investor for the past year or year and a half. They have had to reduce the price. I think the current price is 86 or 85 million US dollars, and I think that is the reserve. In other words, the government has decided that it doesn't want to accept less than $85 million for the hotel. I don't know that it's a good idea to sell the hotel, but apparently they had an offer for $91 million or somewhere around there, 90 million. This is INSER, the Ministry of Education's National Center for Educational Development. Oh, I think since the last time we were in this neck of the woods, let me show you what has happened. Right over there, that's the Pegasus Hotel. Behind this wall is the Pegasus poolside, the famous Pegasus poolside, where they've had live bands on weeknights and weekend nights. I just wanted to show you that there's some additional construction, civil engineering work that was done here since the last time we visited. They actually added some staircase. They added the staircase at the entrance to the seawall and the beach area. So the last time I was down here, this staircase was not installed. The staircase is new. This is the loading dock entrance to the Pegasus, to the Marriott Hotel, and this is new. So they've added a staircase with a ramp. What is not so good about this design is that it is not really wheelchair accessible. It just looks funky. In other words, there's these steps leading up to the top, and this appears to be a wheelchair ramp, but it doesn't go all the way to the ground. They could have actually made it into an actual wheelchair ramp that didn't require stairs at the end. But you know, that's what we get when we don't really plan our designs. We kind of just make them up as we go along, because if somebody had planned this carefully, they would have included a real wheelchair ramp. So if you want to come up here in a wheelchair, you probably have to use this steep roadway, which is really not that accessible. So this is the Marriott that is for sale. Like I said, the government has been trying to sell it for 85 million above. That's the reserve is 85 million. This is the artificial beach, and they've put rocks. I think we walked along that shore to see the civil engineering works to preserve the beach in a previous video. So if you want to see that, go to my previous video at Kingston seawall. But this is new. They've actually built this wall recently, probably within the last month or so, since the last time we came to this area and I showed you this neck of the woods. And they built this apparent staircase, but this doesn't go. This is not a wheelchair accessible ramp, which is my only criticism so far. So yeah, we're walking along Battery Road. We're going back to Battery Road because I wanted to show you changes that are happening around the Marriott. A lot of the works have been centered around the new Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center, but I wanted to see if they actually included some work along the Marriott. This is the NSERD building. Morning. Ministry of Education's National Center for Education Research. And straight ahead, that is the Guyana. That's Banab. It's built by the Amerindians in Guyana. They actually possess the skill to build these thatched roofs. They've been building them for thousands of years, and so it's a national monument. All right, so this is Battery Road in Kingston. And like I said, the previous government had decided to turn the riverfront into a boardwalk, and those plans were cancelled by the current government. So the question is, what is new? Well, they've put actually, this stuff is new, right? These blocks that separate the sidewalk from the roadway is new, and that is actually quite good because people park on the sidewalks here in Guyana, and they do so with impunity. So having these barriers separating the sidewalk from the road is important to get people to comply with the road rules. Now, I would have used ballers instead of just cement blocks. Ballers are tall barriers that prevent, these are tall, like waist-high posts in the ground, metal posts in the ground that prevent traffic from getting onto the sidewalk. So it prevents a vehicle, for example, from accidentally running up on the sidewalk and hitting a pedestrian. Over here, that's the Marriott. Like I said, is for sale. The government is trying to sell it. They've actually had to reduce the price from 90 million US dollars, I think, or 91 million. There was an offer, an American businessman who offered $91 million to buy the Marriott. But that deal apparently fell through, and so they're considering the next deal, which is supposed to be somewhere around $85 million. I think the owners of the Pegasus Suites have also put in a bid to buy the Marriott. I don't know what will eventually happen, but the last I heard is that the vice president, okay, so what's going on here? They have a business conference. So the Marriott Hotel is the location for most of business happening in Georgetown. So ExxonMobil, all of the oil and gas conferences, and a lot of the business travelers stay here at the Marriott, right? But I don't know if the Pegasus Suites is getting in on the action yet, but like I said, the government is trying to sell the Marriott. It seems as if it could use a new coat of paint because the paint looks faded, both on the walls outside, that is the fence, as well as the building itself. It could use a coat of paint, and it seems to be somewhat poorly maintained. Although the new parking lots, the parking lots seem to be new. There seems to be some landscaping inside the parking lot and the grounds. And here is the river. So that's the riverfront I'm talking about. Looking back in the direction we came from, Battery Road in Kingston. Over here, this is the Guyana Forestry Commission, and straight ahead is the river. All right, so not very much has been done to beautify this part of the Kingston neighborhood. This is still in an industrial zone, right? There's really no reason why Ministry of Forestry or these industries have to be located at this prime location, right? This prime location should probably be converted to much more accessible for the public, that is, use. So build more hotels, more high-rise apartments and condominiums and so on. That is what the plan was, to turn this riverbank area all the way along the riverbank. So that is the Demerara River. Over here you have a stone yard, right? And all the way down, that is towards Stabroek, is an industrial zone with ports. And the issue is, shouldn't we move those ports inland or move them further along the river so that the riverbank along the riverfront of Georgetown could be used for recreation and living space. That's the issue, guys. Should you convert the riverbank into living space for Georgetown? In other words, move all of these industrial buildings and government buildings away from the riverbank and really make this property available for real estate development, right? Like next over there on the south, in the south of these buildings is central suppliers for the Ministry of Public Health. South of these buildings, that's the power company, Guyana Light and Power. They have their power generation compound where they have dozens and dozens of diesel generators to produce electricity. So the thing is that all of these power plants and industrial plants don't need to be here. They could actually be moved to a location that is more suitable for industry, right? I can understand that the power plant, in decades gone by, the power plant needed to be here because the fuel delivery was by sea, and the Stone and Exxon and in fact Exxon has now an artificial island in the river that they utilize for their shore-based operations. So the point is that there are other more suitable locations that can be used for these industries that are located along the riverbank, and the riverbank can be converted into a boardwalk empire, boardwalk community with apartments and shopping centers, restaurants, and condominiums. This is now Water Street. We're walking on Water Street. So let's bring this video to an end. This is what is happening in Kingston. I wanted to show you, by contrast, what is happening around the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center as opposed to what is happening around the Marriott, right? That's the Marriott Hotel here in Georgetown, Guyana. You can see that there are some changes. The Marriott is now advertising a business conference. That's what the sign says. But they're not the same kind of beautification changes that are happening around the Pegasus Suites. So that's it, guys. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let them know what's happening along the riverbank. Hopefully the next government will undertake the plans to develop the riverfront in a way that this government has not done so far. Share this video, show people show your family and friends what's happening in the fastest growing economy in the world, Guyana. Later! Over here, that's the old lighthouse. It's received a new coat of paint, apparently, fresh coat of paint, but because of the Pegasus suites, they actually had to move the lighthouse. Because of the Marriott hotel, they had to move the lighthouse to the top of the Marriott hotel, so that is effectively where the lighthouse is now located. Although I think most ships are using GPS navigation systems and don't really need a lighthouse. But that's where the new lighthouse is. This is the old lighthouse. I think for a fee you can climb the old lighthouse and look out off of the balcony. And this is the power station. Share this video with friends and family. Let them know what's happening in the fastest growing economy in the world, Guyana. Later!